Alright guys, so I'm going to be doing my review of Spider-Punk, Battle of the Band. So this is another comic that was sent to me by my good friend Chris. Chris, thank you once again for the comic. And yeah, so let's dive into this comic. So, Spider-Punk. This basically is a character that was a popular character in the original Spider-Verse story, but has recently gotten bigger thanks to the character's appearance in Spider-Man Beyond the, Across the Spider-Verse. So, this character, for those who are unaware, it's not Peter Parker. It is a character, Hobie Brown, who was the Prowler in the main universe. But here he's a younger character and is kind of like a 60s, 70s thrash punk character who fights the man. The man being President Norman Osborn, with his team of young anarchist superheroes who are trying to protect the normal people from from President Osborn's machinations. So this actually takes place after. This is actually a sequel to a story in the Spider-Verse books where Hobie actually killed Norman by decapitating him with a guitar and baseballing his head into the East River. So there's that. There's your story. So this comic, like I said, is the sequel to that storyline, and this more or less discovers that the Hobie and his team, the Spider-Punk team, have to rally together in order to find out where Osborn's old bunkers are being held, and also find out who's using them. So in this story, we have like Captain America, who is known as Carl Morningdew or Morningstar, I can't remember. Kamala Khan, Riri Williams, who goes by Riot Heart, which actually sounds like a better name than Ironheart. It actually, like that, Riot Heart is actually like a cooler name in here than Ironheart, but whatever. We also have Rick, who is the Hulk in here, and he goes like Hulk Thrash and all that. You also have Matea Murdock, who is this Daredevil isn't from Philadelphia, which they call Killadelphia, which I do feel like the writer in here, Cody Ziegler, I have this sneaking suspicion that was on purpose to reference Killadelphia from Image Comics. I have that weird feeling that, like, I know that's also like sadly what in real life Philadelphia is called sometimes because their murder rate per capita. So, but I have this weird feeling that like it was a shout out to the Killadelphia comic. Anyway, so you have that. So you have the new version of Daredevil, who is a woman and also a drummer, Matea Murdock. It's a well-rounded, great cast. It's a very well done cast of characters who are essentially this group of ragtag heroes who are basically thrown into this situation once again, dealing with Osborn. Now, Hobie really does feel like, it does feel kind of hopeless of battling a guy who's essentially a fascist and dealing with his machination, because it always feels like there's always some other fight we have to keep going at. And there's always that kind of hope that we gotta keep pushing. And I like that. What I also like in here is the artwork in this comic. The artwork in here has this very like punk, very much matches the punk rock kind of artwork, kind of feel of the comic. The artwork is done by Justin Mason and Jim Carmenopoulos. Every time I think I can get a name right, I butcher it. But yeah, just to like give you a proper look at the artwork in here of how good it is. Let me just find there we go. That's perfect. There you go. Like, that's how good, like, that gives you this kind of dirtiness and griminess of the punk rock era, but it also has, like, a bright vibrancy, too, if that makes any sense. I do this comic for 5 issues does really feel like it moves. It doesn't have a pacing issue with a lot of these mini-series in these comics, where this one feels like it actually kind of goes longer than I feel like, well, the 3rd issue that introduces Murdoch, that introduces Daredevil, as well as this universe's Kingpin, really does feel like, did we need that? Alright, whatever, and help move the story along. Because this could have been done in 4, but I will say that there is a lot of fun to the Daredevil issue. It feels more like it feels like a standalone story that Ziegler wanted to do, and he's like, I don't know where else to put it, I'll put it in here, and I'll also bring back Daredevil for the finale. this, like I said, this comic, even though it's a 5-issue miniseries, it really does feel like this comic especially has that feel of it was well paced. It's also a fun book. While it is a sequel to a Spider-Verse story, it does feel like something you can read. Like, if you wanted to show this comic to a young reader who just saw Spider-Punk in the Spider-Verse comic, I would say, yeah, give it give this to them. Give this a read. It's not expensive, about $15.99. I think it's it moves at a brisk pace, and if you want to extend your Spider-Man collection to a book that isn't a Spider-Man book that drives you up a goddamn wall, here you go. This is a nice one of those other great Spider-Man alternatives. But other than that, you guys tell me in the comments below if you've read Spider-Punk. Let me know in the comments below, and Chris, thank you once again for this comic. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.